I have gained 10 kilos recently. Thank you. I'm not happy about it. I realised I was getting fat because men in pubs have stopped calling me mate and started to call me big fella. It's just some line. At some point you cross a line and that's how people start treating you. It's a very scary time when you get on a digital scale and it looks like you're tuning into an FM radio. That's where I am now. I'm listening to 101.5 Fat Titties FM. Here's the secret sound. Beatrice from Elizabeth, what do you reckon it is? Yeah, is that James Donald Forbes McCann eating a zinger burger and letting out a soft, wet fart in his Volvo? Yeah! It's hard. I don't mind too much becoming a fat man. I'd be okay with it if it weren't for the arguments I have with women who look like me. You know what I'm saying. I'm talking about short haircuts and arts degrees, glasses and a moustache. And ran into them a lot when I was living in Melbourne. I'd go, gee, I'm so fat. I'm a big fat piece of shit. I fucking hate mother. And they go, no, James, no. Don't shame your body. You should be comfortable with your body. You should be comfortable. Comfortable! Let me tell you about chafing. It is a profoundly uncomfortable experience. I've rediscovered baby powder as an adult. I'm using a lot of it down here. Looks like my dick has a coke habit. Say hello to my little friend indeed. This is nice though. This is good. It's good to be here. This is, of all the ways of paying back an absurdly large sum of money, this is my favourite. I've done a couple in the past. I've had some bad jobs. Does anyone think they have a bad job that I could possibly beat with the jobs I've had? One of you must hate your jobs. Sorry? You're a vet. The scores to get into studying veterinary medicine are very high. But you think once you get in the door, it's not good. Very high suicide rate among vets. Vets and dentists. Man, imagine vet dentists. They're having a bloody hard time. Get a hotline for those people. I once heard a story from a vet who said why they were sad. And they said the worst day they ever had was when a very rich client refused... You're nodding before I get to it. This was in a different state, and it was a young woman, so I hope this is not too common an experience for veterinary people. It was a rich lady who didn't want her cat to die, and they were resuscitating the cat. And they went to the lady and they said, I'm sorry, we've got to let her go. And the lady said, no, I want my cat. And they were paid to continue to try and resuscitate the cat for 5 hours. Little bones are cracking in the chest. If that cat had any lives left, they're gone now. But she said that was the worst thing she'd ever been party to. Have you ever done that? For 2 hours, you'd say? Oh, casual, introductory level veterinary practice. How dare you complain, sir? You're lucky to have a job in this day and age. You're a scumbag and I spit on you. But if I may continue, I've had some rough jobs in my time. Let me tell you, my current job, stand-up comedy, I augment by writing people's websites. That's quite a good job. Writing websites for small and medium-sized businesses. It's okay. You know, you find your happiness where you can in that job. They give me the list of things to write about and they say, 800 words, go! Here are the keywords that people want to Google. Write a website about it. Today you'll be writing 5 things you didn't know about garage doors. That is a tough one. You have to radically reappraise who you is. You is a person who didn't know garage doors could come in up to 6 different colours. There are many different motors on garage doors. That's 2. Start getting a bit abstract. Number 3, exciting things happen behind garage doors. Start up a small business tech company. Number 4, use that garage door to stomp down on your own face. No one's reading this. Sometimes I have fun with it though. I write a lot for mattress websites. And there's all these mattress websites now because they discovered you can get a mattress size of foam for $20 and put it in a box, and people are real happy about that. Anyway, I will do ads for any mattress company that will have me. Anyway, I've got to have fun with it. Like, queen size is the most common mattress type. And so I just have to write an article using the words queen and size over and over again. So the way I make that fun is I see how many times I can inconspicuously work the combination size queen into an article. A size queen, for anyone who doesn't know, is a woman or a man who loves enormous cock. And I suppose they might be in the market for a mattress to do that on. Also a mattress protector, but I would... maybe the worst, second worst job I ever had was selling Caravan magazine advertising by cold calling caravan parks and seeing if they wanted to buy caravan advertising. Which was not in itself altogether unpleasant. The good people of Far North Queensland, which is where the majority of caravan parks are wonderful and pleasant people. But there was a man I was working with who was a radio presenter, like an amateur radio presenter, and he had this beautiful, rich voice. And he would, he'd be on the phone to people like, please buy some caravan. Advertising, please. But then it's a sales environment and we were 100% on commission. And he just always had that voice. So after he'd hang up the phone, I'd hear him saying things like, I wish I was dead. Oh. I tell you, if this office window was higher, I'd jump right out of it. But we're only on the 3rd floor and I'm afraid that I'd live. The worst job I ever had was working in a call centre. And I'll bleep it out. I was working for a telephone service provider, and I was in disconnections. When people wanted to disconnect their they would get me. They would call up furious, sometimes actually very upset because they wanted to disconnect because a loved one had died. And I still had to upsell to those people. That's not as hard as you think. You think that's hard, but oh, Mr. Jeffries, I'm so sorry to hear about the death of your wife. For 45 years, wow, nothing will ever fill that void. Would you like an iPad? The warm glow of Grey's Anatomy might be a... Many people find that a satisfying alternative to their dead wife. Anyway, most of the time, though, they'd be furious. They'd call, I'm going to come down there, put a knife in your chest, you son of a bitch. You go, calm down, madam. We can work through this issue together. And almost every time I'm hearing my voice, the person on the other line would say, wait a minute, mate, are you an Aussie? And I'd say, yes. And they'd say, oh, thank God you're an Aussie, mate. I've been talking to these f***ing... They'd list a couple. And they'd say, but just talking to an Aussie, it's so good. And then they'd basically congratulate me for being white for 10 to 15 minutes. It's like living in the 50s, baby. It was pretty good. But here's what I learned working in a call centre. It's a piece of advice I give to all of you. If you call a call centre and you get a white guy, you hang up and try for Indian. Because these are some low-quality whites working at that call centre. I mean, my goodness me. These whites, let me tell you, these whites, they have such a low quality. If they were in a Dan Murphy's, they'd be in a big bucket with $6 written on it. I mean, my goodness. If these whites were a song, that song would be playing on public transport with no headphones. Low quality white. You call a call centre that's based in Australia and you get an Indian. He's probably from the north of that country where he was a doctor, and he's just come here looking for a better life for his family. He's studying for his equivalency degree and working at that call centre during the daytime hours just to put his kids through a private school. And you call a call centre, you get a white guy, he ripped a bong on the bus in. You know? There's some jobs I will not trust white people to do. If I order an Uber and that Uber driver is white, I cancel that Uber immediately. I did not want to talk to Gary about his divorce. I want to talk to Gundeep. Gundeep knows how to talk about cricket and politics. He's got both kinds of Mentos in that Uber, and he can conduct a quiet conversation with a loved one back home. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible the things he's able to do.
Hello, I'm just going to briefly interrupt the stand-up comedy to tell you all about the James Donald Forbes McCann Catamaran Plan, the brand new podcast from me, James Donald Forbes McCann, all about the journey toward catamaran ownership. That's the James Donald Forbes McCann Catamaran Plan. Because you only deserve the best. You deserve the finest. You need to treat yourself.
You've got to treat yourself. You've got to reach only the finest. You know, that's why I only listen to Classic FM. That's the only radio station I listen to. I don't care for your popular music. Classic FM. Who's a Classic FM person? Statistically, that's about right. 3 in 100, pretty good. Craig, can I admit there are 100 people in here? 100 people, pretty good. I don't know what rules we're breaking with the COVID. Now listen. Nobody start dancing. Anyway, I don't care how melodious I become. Classic FM, that's my jam. That's what I listen to. I listen to it in part for the music, but mostly I listen to it for the announcer. You know, you tune in to Classic FM and there's applause going for like 4 minutes, and then over the top comes that beautiful voice. Oh, yes. Wasn't that absolutely wonderful? Rublaninov Ilaninovich there with Tchaikovsky's Third. You can really hear him grappling with his homosexuality in the second movement. And they always love it. They always go, oh, one of the most splendiferous musical creations I've ever... They never come back and go like, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good Moonlight Sonata, I guess, as far as those go. They always come back like it's the best thing they ever heard. Like, listener, I vomited down my front with pure enthusiasm. I didn't know the rite of spring could do that to a grown man. They love it. They love it, and I love listening to them, except that recently, I don't know what's going on at Classic FM. I assume there's a butcher's paper up in a staff room somewhere with the word relatable on it. There's a pivot at Classic FM. They're trying to connect with the young people. I tuned in the other day. The applause is going, and a voice comes on, and she goes, oh, how good was that? From the Waltz King of Vienna. Fuck off. This is not for you. Oh, ripper tunes coming up for you. Beethoven and all that. Fuck off! No! You can't take a job away from the ABC Classic FM people of old. There's nowhere for them to go. You get kicked off a different radio station, you just go to another radio station, it doesn't matter. You get kicked off Classic FM, you're done. Can't move you through to Triple M with all the most footballingest, wonderful hard rock classics. Can't do it. Can't move that person on to talk back. Well, thank you very much, Darren, for that excellent phone call about the Muslims. Doesn't fit. Can't move them to a youth music radio station like Triple J. Oh, absolutely sublime work there from Sydney North Shore thrash metal outfit. the vegan abortionists, with their new one, I'm a fist, yo daddy. Most unpleasant for daddy, I'm sure. And we've now got Bianca from the Sex and Sexuality program. Bianca, what are you speaking to the young people of Australia about tonight? Well, tonight we're talking about when you go to an orgy, how often do you have to change your condom? Sublime, absolutely sublime. For the young people of this country, we're much elevated. And what, you just move off radio for that man? You go to worse and worse announcing jobs? Welcome to Gosford Dogs, everybody. In box number 1 today, Showtime Jack. In box number 2, and a wonderful box it is. Excuse me, I've been speaking so slowly, the race is over. You slowly move all the way down all the other public speaking jobs that exist. Please welcome next up onto the dancing stage, Cherry. Isn't she just an absolutely terrific looking young lady? I'll just read that order back to you. That's 1 double quarter-pounder value meal. And may I just say what an inspired choice the Big Mac sauce is. Yes, hello, you don't know me, but I wondered if I could interest you in some absolutely ripper Caravan advertising material. I wish I was dead. I don't know. You need classical music. You absolutely require it. For just certain times in life, you know, like when you're on the Titanic and it's going down and the band plays on. You want that band to be playing classical music. You don't want that band playing the latest pop hits, you know. Going to an icy death while people are playing, I'ma fuck your throat, little daddy. You don't want it. You want them to play Nearer, My God, to Thee. That's what I think we've gone back as a society, to be fair. I mean, I don't know if everything about me screams that, but I think we've gone back as a society. Because back in the day, 100 years ago, they went down with the Titanic so that women and children could get away. And we think we've made great strides with sexism and care and empathy. But I tell you now, if I was in that band on the Titanic today, I would take my tuba and I would open up the skull of the nearest woman or child. I would move their corpses into the icy sea and I would take their place in the lifeboat. There's no question about it. And people would shame me. They would say, get that man out of the lifeboat. He's as big as 3 normal-sized people of this age. And I'd say, no, I don't think I will. I'm comfortable in my lifeboat. Comfortable in the lifeboat. They might say, well, at least leave the tuba. My son could go there instead of your tuba. And I'd say, no. The world needs music. And I would play as the Titanic went down, but from the lifeboat, sailing away. Boom, ba-boom, 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 boom, 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 boom. Nearer your God to you. That's what I say. I wouldn't do that to my own family, but other people's families, absolutely, without even blinking, without a thought.
And if you're looking for even more content about James Donald Forbes McCann and boats, well, you're going to love the James Donald Forbes McCann Catamaran Plan. It's that podcast that we mentioned before that's still out now. Also, here is a joke about Ludacris that I couldn't find a way of editing into the rest of the show.
I don't know if you guys heard about this. Do you know the rapper Ludacris? Yeah. He has decided to start releasing music under his birth name, Ludachristopher. Ow! I can feel it tonight. Baby.